Hey, greetings, Fright Nights and Monster Girls. I am Count Jackula, of course, and this is Jessica Dwyer, the producer of the Into Darkness documentary series, some of which you should be extremely familiar with. How are you doing today, Jessica?
I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. Really excited. We launched yesterday for our pre-sale, and everything's going fantastic. And yeah, I'm really excited about this doc. So many people wanted more, even though we had like 4.5 hours of the first one. People wanted more content, and we had more left, and we have new content as well. And if you couldn't tell from our awesome poster, we have international horror this time around. So we've got Italian horror movies being represented, and we've got Greta from Demons.
Oh, excellent. Yes.
Yeah, we interview her in this. I'm really excited about that, because that was one thing I wish we could do more of. But I mean, it's a whole decade of horror, so you're going to be really hard pressed to fit it all in.
Yeah, it's a decade of horror, which had some of the most horror per year that was being released. So there's a huge amount. Like, you could probably cover all the horror movies that came out of America in like the late 90s to like 2011, but like the 80s, that's a completely different story.
There were so many iconic ones too. I mean, the 80s was such a time. I've said this before, and I think the 80s was a time for horror and genre, and specifically because it was a decade where you saw the most growth in technology, access for fans with VHS. Independent filmmakers got the ability to get their stuff out there with the VHS rental market, and cable television reintroduced us to all this stuff. So I think that's why you saw such a huge growth of horror, and why we were able to get things like Reanimator.
Oh yeah, because that was pretty much made for the VHS market, wasn't it?
It was an independent production. You know, you had Stuart Gordon and Charles Band. Stuart Gordon, rest his soul. You know, he was that's one thing I love about this with Stuart Gordon, and we also have Larry Cohen in the first film. These renegades, man, these renegades of filmmaking that just didn't take no for an answer. And I love it.
Yeah, they really did seem to have an attitude of like, no, just do it. Like, especially like Larry Cohen and William Lustig.
Oh yeah,
very much were very much of the opinion that how are we going to get that on camera? Well, we're just going to set a guy on fire and have him drive a car. Yeah, like we're just going to do that.
Well, it's like when you find out that like Larry Cohen, you know, we were blessed enough to get the last interview with him. He passed you know, in the first film 3 months after we shot him. You find out that they were tossing, like, I think live rounds or something off the side of the Empire State Building and the Winged Serpent. Like, they were just, you know what? We paid to film here. We're just going to do it, and you guys deal with the fallout of that. Okay.
Yeah, you just deal with it. Screw it, you know. Yeah. It's New York, no unions, you know, at the time anyway.
we don't need no freaking pass to do this. We don't need to pay anybody to film here. To hell with it. But you know, that's kind of what's so great about these films is they're unique. I mean, I can't think of movies. This makes me sound old, but I can't think of movies today that are on the level of so many of these that came out in the 80s. Like the imagination of them. It seems like, you know, today we're recreating these movies. You know, we just had Black Christmas be redone, you know. And you keep going back to these films. We just keep going back to them. And even, you have like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of people love the new one. Darcy the Mail Girl thinks that the remake is better, which I don't know about that, Darcy. But
well, my opinion is that they're both really good, and they're very different movies with the exact same plot.
Exactly. But you keep going back to these films, and there's something about that time period that there was freedom, there was an artistic expression that, I mean, is unmatched. You have movies like Demons, you have movies like Shocker, you know, Wes Craven, it just was making these, like Deadly Friend.
Deadly Friend is very, very it's very underappreciated. It's very weird because
I've read the novel that it's based on.
Oh, what's the main difference between the two?
The big difference in the book is that he dies with her. And like at the end of the book, he kills it. He jumps into the river and dies with the robot. And he's a completely different looking description. He doesn't look like the thin geeky boy. He's overweight. He's kind of a creep. But I mean, that movie was so bizarre and different. And you know, no one will ever forget the scene of the head exploding with the basketball.
Oh, no, not at all. Like, you know, with the basketball hitting the head of the actress who played Ma Fratelli from the Goonies.
Oh, yeah. No, Ruth Gordon?
Yeah.
That's her name. Yeah. But I think that's the thing that I love about this. And the other part of it isn't just the film, but we're creating this online community for horror fans, which right now is so needed because we have no conventions. We can't go to our local comic book stores where we normally congregate.
Yeah, the conventions used to be the big thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I miss it so bad. I mean, the last con I went to was September of last year. And when I co-hosted Horror Hound Weekend, and I miss my friends. You know, you miss your people. And your horror buds, you know, your fan family. And it sucks.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's interesting because the horror fandom has always been kind of it's always been a remote association. You don't tend to find too many of us in one specific area, so we don't tend to hang out at the same places. But horror movies are something that it's not always everyone's number one favorite thing, but it's usually number two or three in certain places, like in the goth community, for instance. That was very much the case. Horror movies weren't necessarily as they were for me, which was number one with a bullet, but it was always on the list of top 5 favorite things. But those of us who really, really live and breathe it are really only chance to really express that was at the convention. So I think you're right. An online space really, really is needed.
Oh yeah, and one thing that is great about it is, when you buy the film, when you do the pre-sale, which is going on right now, and get In Search of Darkness, you get a 12-month subscription to our Discord community. And in that community, you not only have all of these people that have the same loves as you. They know who you're talking about. If you say the word Jeffrey Combs, they're going to be like,
oh yeah, of course.
They're gonna know. But on top of that, we have what's called watch parties, where we actually bring the celebrities to you, and you watch the movies with them.
Oh,
sync up our. We do what I lovingly call it syncing up our VCRs, because that's what I used to do, because we didn't have this.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Watching movies over the phone. But we start the movie at the same time, and we have the star or the director there with us, and they run commentary. They talk. We have questions from the fans that they submit, and they will answer them for you, and it's all recorded, so you have that commentary forever, where you can replay it.
And how do people become a part of this?
So you go to 80shorrordoc.com and you pre-purchase the film. It's a pre-sale right now. It ends October 31st at 12 midnight, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
The witching hour.
The witching hour. And what's great about it is you don't just get the movie. You get the Discord community, but there's also additional levels if you want to buy. If it's, I believe there's extras that you can add, but we have some amazing artwork. We've got 3 different posters that you can get as part of this promotion. You get an enamel pin of that cheerleader reaching out from the poster, which is really awesome. And Kelly Maroney picked it out right away that she's wearing her cheerleader outfit from Night of the Comet.
Oh, nice. Good,
and,
good.
It's so great. Kelly Maroney was just on a watch party with us. I believe it was for was it Shopping Mall? Shopping Mall or Night of the Comet? I can't remember which one.
One of the ones she was in, yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic though, and just beautiful. I don't know what it is. I think they're all vampires. Her and Barbara Crampton look absolutely beautiful.
Barbara Crampton I swear she's actually like some sort of Egyptian goddess that just decided to awaken in the last century to do movies. Like, you look at her, you would be like, you are not 68 years old.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't even know how old she actually is, but I mean, I know she's got to be in her 60s, just doing the math on it.
She's drinking the same baby blood as Paul Rudd. That's
definitely.
I can figure out.
Definitely.
But if you go to 80shorrordoc.com, or you can follow Jack's link. He's going to have a link as well to go purchase the movie. Mm-hmm. Support his channel because he does God's work. I'm not saying which God he does that God's work. Go purchase through that link, and you immediately get added on, and you get access for a year to our Discord community. And we've had Jeffrey Combs watch Reanimator with us, or actually do a Q&A prior to Reanimator. You get all access to this. We're going to have other goodies coming up that we're going to keep adding on because. To me, fandom is family. That's my quote. That's what I always say, because I spent my life growing up in a tiny podunk little town where I was not only a girl, I was a goth before it was a goth thing. I don't even know what goth was at the time. I just wore a lot of black.
Probably a death rocker. Yeah.
I loved Lita Ford. I loved Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was the only one reading Fangoria, and I was a girl on top of that. So I got raised like you wouldn't believe, and I didn't find my people until years later, and then I found my people, and those people were at a horror con at Fangoria Weekend of Horrors in 1989. That Doug Bradley still remembers to this day what the freaking subway station was outside the hotel. If you ask him, he'll be like, "Oh yeah, that was the L train, blah 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 blah." And it's like, how do you remember that, Doug Bradley? What?
Same way he remembers every script.
It's crazy. He sacrificed his hair for the ability to remember everything.
Yep. And he got to be Pinhead, so.
Pinhead. But that show had Angus Scrimm, Doug Bradley, Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Clive Barker, and Tony Timpone from Fangoria magazine.
Oh man, that would have been like right
1989.
89. That would have been right at the beginning of like Kane Hodder's legacy. He would have only have done like 2 of them at that point, wouldn't he?
Yep. Yeah, and he was. I have pictures, and I have a mullet, and I'm wearing. Oh, Robert Zadar was at that show too. God rest him.
Oh,
he was
Maniac Cop himself.
Maniac Cop himself. It was one of the best conventions I've ever been to in my life, and so when I saw, I got to meet Forey Ackerman at that show. Zachary was there with Forey. It was amazing, man. And when I walked in that door and I looked around, little 14-year-old Jessica just was like.
So I do want to ask one last question, which what was the genesis of this project? What was the genesis of Into Darkness?
So Into Darkness happened because Robin Black, who is the head of Creator VC, he partnered with Oliver Harper on a documentary all about 80s action movies called In Search of the Last Action Hero.
Oh, yes.
And that, yeah, and great movie. And that beget, well, let's see, we'll go in search of darkness this time. And I started hearing things about it, and they were just starting to work on it. And I reached out to Robin and said, hey, if you're looking for another female voice to add to this, I've been working in the industry for going now on almost 20 years. I write for Horror Hound magazine. I have my own thing, fangirlmag.com. I've been doing all this for a while. If you want more ladies, because that's something that we need more of in the world of horror, that are knowledgeable and have worked it.
Yeah. On the creative end, exactly. Sort of behind the camera, yeah.
Yeah, Deborah Hill, hero Deborah Hill.
Yeah.
So I reached out to him, and he said, okay, let's talk. And then he said, hey, you want to be a producer? I'm like, Sure, yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. What am I doing? And so we started putting together with, I was friends with David Weiner, who was the editor of Famous Monsters of Filmland magazine for years. And I introduced him to Robin, and then he ended up becoming the director. And he's been working in the industry for like 30 plus years, worked on Entertainment Tonight. And he worked for he was Famous Monsters editor.
Yeah. That's a big landmark publication.
Oh yeah. And so we, together we just started working and putting together, getting people involved. And it's a brilliant idea because it's, the fans back it. We do what the fans are asking for. You tell us what you want. That's what we do. And that's why this time around, we're bringing more because that's what people wanted. They wanted more of this, and they wanted us to expand. That was the big thing, was we want more foreign horror. We want more international films in this. And so we've expanded it out because, remember, you had zombie, you had, Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah, to say the least.
Yeah, and so we've expanded it out to include that this time around.
Really hard to talk about 80s horror without talking about Fulci and Bava and Argento. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that kind of the 80s colored lighting look was very much pioneered and perfected by Mario Bava.
Oh yeah, and the giallo stuff. I don't want to say it. I call it giallo because I think it sounds stupid. And I heard Elijah Wood say the word giallo to me in an interview, and I almost died a little. So not gonna lie.
Well, there's another great hero of horror these days, Elijah Wood. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought Frodo Baggins was going to bring back horror with this weird artistic touch and bring back fucking Richard Stanley to do The Color Out of Space?
Lovecraft. Oh my God. Yeah. And he's going to do more. I interviewed Richard Stanley about Color of Space, and he's going to do more Lovecraft. That's his boy. So
yeah, I heard that the next one was supposed to be the Dunwich Horror.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks for talking with us today. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. And everybody, click the link that he's going to post for this. You definitely want to be a part of it. We've got the coolest stuff this time around. I'm excited about this pen. I'm an enamel. I got like a vat of enamel pens over here. And
can you show people one?
And I don't have one with me because they have one that Robin's got, but I'll tell you what's cool about it.
Okay.
I had the idea of the pen back is a video cassette.
Oh, so if you look snap.
At the card it comes on is a little video cassette.
Oh, that is nice.
Video. Love it. I love it. I'm a dork. I can't help it.
Oh no, that's great stuff. It's I'm a collector. If you can't
shelf.
I noticed the shelf of like stuff. You can't see mine because the camera's pointed in the wrong direction, but I got like an infinite amount of that stuff.
It's kind of disgusting. But I'm a collector. I know what fans like because I'm a fan, if you can't tell. And I'm really excited to be a part of this and bring this to you guys. It's unique how we do this. It's fans getting what they want, telling us what they want, and it's, we bring it right to you. There's no middleman. We do it. We make it. We give it to you. And I think you're going to love this. Check out the trailer. The trailer is amazing. We have some of the best editors around that put this stuff together for us. And I'm just really stoked to bring you back into darkness, as it were.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure having you. Everybody else, Ave Satanas, keep watching fucked up movies. Y'all take care.
You have the thingy.
Huh? Oh.
The preview you are about to watch is for a movie that is unlike any you have ever seen before. It is for a movie that goes beyond temporary fear to everlasting terror. We're back!
Surprise.
I've got something I want to play for you.
Would you like a closer look?
Really?
This is going to be an entirely new experience.
There goes the neighborhood.
Last stop.
What I mean is, can you be scary? Oh, I know you're asking me. Can I be scary? What do you think of this?
Hey, I wish you folks at home could see this.
We ought to have one of these every year. Happy Halloween, dear.
That was fun.
You guys throw one heck of a party.